Hey everybody, Professor Snart checking in here as we get kind of amazingly towards the end of our course. It's hard to believe I'm looking out my window at nice clear blue sky, so it's sort of weird to feel like we're coming towards the end, but we're certainly beyond the midterm point. Essay 1 has been submitted. You'll now find your grade and then also feedback in the form of probably a few just little comments, but also a link to a video where I am looking at your essay so you can see it too, and we'll also have me sort of talking through a number of hopefully strong points of the essay, but also maybe some points for improvement. So clearly we don't revise this first essay, but the main thing that you want to do obviously is take strengths but also areas of weakness maybe to improve on for that final essay. So essay number 1 was worth 200 points, quite a bit for our course. Essay number 2, our last final essay, is worth even more. So I always like to say that there is a sort of glass half empty version of this really high stakes or lots of points assignment, in as much as if you screw that up, it obviously has a major kind of negative effect on your grade, but I prefer to really see the glass half full in that situation, is that yes, there's a lot of points riding on the essay, but there's also ample kind of opportunity to get direct help from me. We have a virtual conference built into the class, so you actually have the opportunity to talk with me. I force you to. But obviously you can, email me directly with questions about your topic, your sources, any of that kind of stuff. Not to mention that the course itself is set up to really provide you with all of the models, the examples, the do this, don't do that kind of a thing. I've tried to make it as transparent and as obvious as possible. So yeah, the final essay is worth a lot of points, but there's really no mystery about what I'm looking for in that final essay. We've done lots of kind of scaffolding and building up to it throughout our units here, so nothing should really be coming as a surprise to you. And in fact, what I noticed in grading our first essays was sort of an inverted bell curve. So there's not a lot of people who were kind of right in the middle getting that, proverbial B or whatever. There was lots of people with a really strong A, and I think they had just followed examples, invested time in what they were doing, and produced a good result. It seemed like there were a significant number of people, though, who were submitting at the last minute. Basic things like works cited and citation weren't right. And again, that's not a subjective kind of mystery. You just follow the examples that are in the course, and it's either right or wrong. So that is really one of the clear keys to me, that if you're investing time in doing the work for the course, in reading material, looking at sample essays, doing the various assignments, when it comes to essay writing, you're really just piecing those together. You're not reinventing the wheel. The specifics of the essay it might be different every time, but all of the concepts are the same that we're applying. So I think in a lot of cases people just aren't really doing the content of the course. They're skipping right to the assignment, kind of winging it sometimes at the last minute it looks like, and probably not getting a grade that reflects what they could be getting in the course. So especially for this final assignment, really be sure that you're doing the course, right? You're actually reading the material. It's not just optional to do that and then you do the assignment. Obviously, if you don't do that stuff and then you try to do the assignment, well, you're unlikely to get it, let's call it correct, for lack of a better word. Okay, but moving on. So we're into Unit 9, which is the final essay assigned. So unlike with our Essay 1 unit that really, you got the essay assignment and you worked on it, we now have a number of units that we work through before the final thing is due. So this first one, you're reading Death of a Salesman, which I encourage you to write on for the final essay, although you don't absolutely have to, but it has lots of things going for it. There's lots of various themes going on. It's a pretty accessible and relatable piece of literature. There's lots of good film versions, which I certainly encourage you to watch in addition to the play itself, to reading the play. Seeing it, obviously, it's meant to be seen, so it helps to be able to visualize those characters and how they interact and how the sort of time or the setting works in the play, which can be a little bit confusing. But obviously, when you quote or when you write your essay, you're quoting from the play as we have it in our book, not from a film version. So the final essay is assigned here, 5 to 6 pages, 3 secondary sources. For most people, those will probably be database material. Again, Death of a Salesman really lends itself to the kind of essay we're writing because it has all those themes, but also lots and lots of really good secondary material. No general websites, no just kind of vaguely related sources. We've been through that, so this isn't news. The only thing that's really different here is it's a little bit longer than our first essay, although not substantially longer. And in this case, instead of me giving you topics to choose from, you're developing your own. But really, following along the same lines as what we did for essay number 1. So sort of like, how does a particular theme work in Death of a Salesman, for example. You might even use a theme that you covered for essay 1 or one of the choices and try to apply that to the play. The other thing that you can do is more of a comparison essay, and in fact a piece of content here in Unit 9 is a PowerPoint where I kind of walk you through an effective way of doing a comparison essay. And again, if you do a comparison essay, the point-by-point comparison, which is explained in the PowerPoint, is what I'm looking for. So it's not kind of like do it your own way or whatever, they're all sort of the same. They're really not. So again, is it worth a lot of points? Yeah, but you can do it correctly by, sort of following the guidance that the course itself provides to you. So in the case of a comparison essay, you'd be taking like Death of a Salesman or a work from our course, one that we've read, maybe comparing it to another work that we've read, but this is why I like this approach, is you could compare it to something totally outside of our course, like a film, a novel you've read, a TV series, anything else that you might be familiar with. So one of the books or one of the texts will be sort of that more formal literary type that we've looked at in the course, but really taking us back to our initial conversations about like what is literature. We're now kind of opening up that question to include lots of other kinds of texts. Again, popular movies, popular shows, all of that stuff we can approach with a sort of literary or analytical eye. And so the first thing that we're really doing as part of Unit 9 or as part of the longer final essay project is just getting some ideas going for a topic. So our turnaround is quite quick here in terms of the unit being due on Thursday. The discussion board has you talking about a tentative topic, and so you really might be just getting things going as far as possibilities. I understand that, so it's not like this is something you're locked into. Again, you're just sort of getting the ball rolling, but I do want to force you to be thinking in terms of a topic now and not leaving that for further down the road. You'll also notice that in Unit 10, you have the opportunity to meet with me. We could do it face-to-face if you're on campus anyway, so let me know if that's a possibility. But otherwise, we'll do it virtually through Skype, through a piece of software called Adobe Connect, whichever works better for you. But we'll have the opportunity to talk directly about your topic and hopefully for me to actually look at your essay in whatever stage it's at. So again, everything is really built in the course, from this conference to the topic discussion board to all of the steps leading up to it. For you, everything's really built for you to be successful in this final kind of big point essay. So I really want to encourage everybody to make sure you're investing the time, really doing the course, the content of the course, and giving yourself every opportunity to be successful, rather than just kind of slapping it together at the last minute and skipping over a lot of stuff and hoping for the best. There's no reason to do that, and it's unlikely to produce the grade that you're probably otherwise capable of getting. Okay, so now as we get towards the end of our course, it really becomes even more important to be in touch with me with any comments, concerns, questions, especially about this final essay, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing what kinds of topics people come up with for this final essay, and I will talk with everybody pretty soon.